Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I just heard Tass on Touched by an Angel. She was singing a song, and I'd like to do just two lines of it. It went something like, God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her with a light from above. Now, I know that sounds weird coming from me, but it was sounding nice up there with that other voice. Ladies and gentlemen, I have stood before you for quite some time now, and I've talked about God. And I know many of you don't want to hear anything about God because you heard that God was all powerful. And there have been some things that happened in your life that you felt that God should have dealt with in a way that you could appreciate. And the fact that it didn't happen, you have lost faith in God, or perhaps never had it. And I'd just like to say to those of you who feel that way, I want you to know that this is something that's magnificent about God, is that having created this earth and you put us here, gave us choice so we could live as we wanted to live, not necessarily as He would have us live, but gave us the opportunity to make a choice. But was kind of like a parent, allowed us to make these choices knowing that we shall reap what we sow. The seed that we plant will determine the fruit that we get. And whether we are to live here on this earth as in heaven or in hell, that choice is ours. And so we don't have the liberty of trying to put anything on God, but put it directly on ourselves. You know, I was thinking about the length of time, should I say, that I've been out here carrying this message forward. I remember some years ago, I used to be on radio, and I was on a program. In fact, I carried forward a program called Love Ministry. A ministry of love. It was life of victory eternal. Life of victory eternal. I look at the world, or look at America as it was then and is today, and I think about victory. Victory means overcoming all of those things that you did not want to have anything to do with. It was about overcoming death and receiving life, not just walking around, but to be happy. I thought that was a wonderful ministry. I did that for a few years. Now, I really didn't see anything happening that was a sign and indication to me that anybody was paying any attention to the message that I brought. Didn't mean they weren't. Maybe just one or two. Maybe. But it wasn't what I was seeking for. I wanted to see a major change beginning within the community. Well, I didn't see that, and after a while I changed the program and started a new one called The Moment of Truth. I thought maybe since you couldn't understand love ministry and what it was all about, maybe I should focus in on those things that are essential, that would be engaging and producing love ministry. So I thought The Moment of Truth, and I spent years on radio talking about the moment of truth. I had given love ministry the moment of truth, and having done that for a few years, I was led to go on cable access, and I changed the program to Paradise on Earth Unlimited. Everybody got some idea about what paradise is like. And I had given you the message of love ministry. I had taken time and given you the moment of truth. Now, if you put those together, we could experience paradise. Paradise on Earth Unlimited. Oh wow, that was kind of nice. It's been a few years talking about that, and obviously didn't see any real major changes in the city, the state, or this nation. And so I decided to give a new program with a new title. And that title was Basic Human Rights for All People, which references inalienable rights, which references birthrights that are entitled every individual, that are God-given just by being on this earth wherever you are. Birthrights enable you to survive, and not just to survive, but live. Basic human rights for all people. So we went from love ministry, life of victory eternal, to the moment of truth, to paradise on earth unlimited, and basic human rights for all people. Just to see if I could break it down so you could understand. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know, as I know, when I speak about years, we can see that things have gotten worse than it was even then. And now I find myself standing before you suggesting that I'm going to keep this ministry going, but with a new title. And that is, As in Heaven, So on Earth. As in heaven, so on earth. I realize most folks don't have any idea what it's like in heaven, because you say things like walking around heaven singing songs, eating and drinking milk and honey, singing praises to God. What kind of life can that be? Who would make a life like that for you to live? It's not God. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I want to share with you that the reality is this country. This country, from its foundation, we as a people have always had some connection with God. It was in our heart. And so we always did a measure of good. It was some kindness always in each of us. Even the worst of us has some kindness. However, there is a spirit that has nothing to do with kindness. Its foundation is a lack of kindness. That's all that it is about. And from our foundation, while those of us who came, those of you, those or whoever you were at that time, who came in with a nice heart, there was something always going on behind the scene that you did not know about, and it was essential in the establishing of this, what we call the United States of America, or the colonies back in the day. And it was set up by people who have a secret agenda, things that they know about, plans that they have made, but they don't want you, the public, to know about it because they think that you would not agree with it. And so they lie and deceive you, thinking that if you knew the truth, you would probably run them out of town. So they want to continue and achieve their agenda, so they operate in deception. I was just thinking about something I had seen on cable, and it was Mike Pompeo, who is now the Secretary of State of the United States of America, who used to be in charge of the Central Intelligence Agency. And he was giving a speech someplace, and he was talking about how the government works, how that secret part that you don't know about works. And that's saying that lying and cheating and stealing and deceiving was the game that was being played. So actually, ladies and gentlemen, what he was actually saying is that the people think that you are going forward with a nice agenda, something that you could possibly be proud of. You don't have to be carried away, but proud of, while secretly the devil was running the show and you didn't know anything about it. The devil was running the show, but you didn't know anything about it. You remember how often I tell you that this deceptive thing that's working against God's plan was founded on deception, founded on lying and cheating, creating poverty, crime, and violence. All of these negative things, they happen. They happen as a result of what's going on behind the scenes. Lying and cheating and stealing. Secret societies. Every last one of a secret society got something that they want to do that they don't want you to know. Let me say that again. Every secret society got something going on that they want to do and don't want you to know. That includes sororities, that includes fraternities, that includes organizations that you don't know anything about, that includes all of the organizations that got some association with secret. Secret. Our business, not your business. Ex-President Jimmy Carter was making a presentation, and he said that America is the most warless nation ever on the face of the earth. War means killing. War means empire building, promoting your own agenda over others' agenda. That is directly in association with those secret societies. That is why so much money is spent on the military complex, to be able to do all of the things that control and manipulate people, trying to actually take over the earth or play a role in those secret societies' mission of taking over the earth. And by doing this, monies that you have stolen from people through taxation and fees and all of the different things that have been set up to deceive people and exploit people, never get a chance to do the good things that people want done, like health care, infrastructure, nice roads and houses and communities and things to do. These things are put on the back burner so that the game can be played in life. Ladies and gentlemen, it also, if you just reflect back on earlier foundations of this community, how people can come from another country to a country where people already are. People who open the doors, give them a handshake, embrace them, allow them to come in and break bread with them, to socialize with them, to accept them and receive them as brothers and sisters, only to be sideswiped, sucker punched, and murdered for the purpose of taking these people's land. When I say these people's land, I'm talking about land that they lived on, land that they were willing to share with everybody else. They weren't calling this their land. They call it the Father's land. They call it God's land, to be shared by everybody. But it got to be referred to as their land when these people who they called friends came in and sucker punched them and started shooting them and killing them and putting them on reservations and taking the land. That was as evil can be. Now you see, from the beginning, the very, very beginning, the lying, the cheating, the stealing, the secret things going on, while you, the public, are trusting these folks to do what's good, only to find out that they are not. And that wasn't so bad. I mean, it was bad. But then they brought in another group of people, another nation of people, and made these people work for nothing, work for just enough food to keep them working, enough energy to keep them going. And if they didn't like it, they had to take it, because they were beaten and cut up and separated from their families, and wives molested and children sold. Oh my God, what kind of people are these? My friend, it should make you cringe just to hear me say these things. And yet this is the foundation of this nation. The foundation of this nation. And now you got a president who was able to get in this office because of the secret agendas of those behind the scenes. When this man was running for office, there were those who would stand up and tell you he's a demon from the pit of hell. And most of the people of this country recognized it and say, we don't want him. But many of you did. And yet the thing that was able to move this mountain was the secret agenda. The one the Electoral College was being controlled by, that says we want this man. Why? Because he serves the secret agenda. It doesn't matter what you, the American people, think. It doesn't matter what you, the American people, want. People of the church took sides, but deep down in their hearts, every church member wants to do right. They just confused about what is right. This is a result of how they've been divided. Republicans and Democrats one way versus another way, and some better than others, and being set up to believe exactly what they have been taught. And I know I can testify to this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm an older guy now. I'm an elder. But when I was a young guy, I was indoctrinated to the history of this nation, disallowing any knowledge of who I am and my people are and where we come from. I was bought into this lie just like the white people are bought into this lie. I was able to be awakened because I finally recognized that I and my people were slaves, so that kind of woke me up. But what was to wake the white people up? What was to get them to think, give it a second thought? They were benefiting from it all the way, so it was very, very difficult. And it is as difficult today. This is why this Trump guy got so much support in talking about making this nation great again. It has never been a great nation. The only thing it has been is a big ball of confusion for Satan to do the biddings of Satan. And I'm not talking about the Satan you can't see, the big Satan. I'm talking about the secret societies. At least you hear of them. You just don't know what their agenda is. And their agenda is handed down from the greatest evil one you can ever imagine. And yet, here is Trump talking about these kinds of things, what he's not going to do, disrespecting even that which you, the people, have considered as being legal, even that which you, the people, said you're going to institute in order to protect yourselves from people like this, or institutions that might come in and deceive you and try to destroy you and take all of that little goodness that you have about God away. And that is the mission of this whole thing, is to rob you of all your goodness, to rob you of all your kindness, to rob you of all your godliness, and implant in you self-survival into hell with everybody else. That's what this is about. That is what this man represents. And yet at this date and at this time, there is still a bit of decency in the American people. They still, while they are not ready to be pure, while they're not ready to talk about the moment of truth or life of victory or paradise on earth unlimited or basic human rights, they're talking about still some measure of decency that would keep us from rolling down that rabbit hole straight to hell. And this man is trying to defy all of that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know exactly what I'm talking about, so I don't have to really go any deeper than that. But it wouldn't be fair for me to tell you about the problems without sharing with you the solutions. And the solutions is this. We have a creator. You can't see it, but the evidence, just like the evidence which comes from deceiving and exploitation and lying and cheating and crime and violence, as it is apparent in our daily life, there is also a way. Even the things that the churches do, they hand out wonderful gifts to people. They see other people suffering, and they try to extend a measure of godliness to them. And that alone is not enough, but it is a sign that God is alive. The message that I bring to you today is, as in heaven, so on earth. I'm saying to all of those of you who got a little decency in you, who got a little kindness in you, just as Trump is standing up boldly trying to tear down every ounce of goodness that this nation has, God is calling on those of you who got some goodness in you to stand up and build it, energize it, let it grow, and defeat all of this evil, defeat this deception by doing unto others as you'd have others to do unto you. You understand that people can't do so many things in this life because they have instituted a bait that keeps your mind off of God. God has designed a plan whereby you can actually experience heaven on earth by just caring about one another, engaging yourselves in the things that have been set up for you to engage yourself in as you choose to engage yourself in it. And so by doing it, you got a purpose on life. You create all of the goods and services that you, the people, have determined are essential for not only your survival, but for your living and living wonderfully. Everybody can have unlimited and unrestricted education. Everybody can have health care from the womb to the tomb. Everybody can have food, clothing, and shelter, never to run out of it. And these are just to name a few things. And you will experience peace. You will experience freedom. You will experience prosperity and the joy of life by the manifestation of your dreams. When you think about living, what do you think about? Your dreams. I dream. If I could have my dreams. Why do you want to win the lottery? So you can make your dreams come true. Here, God has built a foundation where you don't have to worry about any kind of winning a lottery. You don't have to worry about any kind of making money. You're just doing the job that you have chosen to do, and by so doing, all things that are created by the hands of man, you got ownership in it. And what you own, you don't buy. You access it as you desire it. And you know, people say, well, I'm going to clutter. No, ladies and gentlemen, what you own, you don't have to clutter. I'm talking to the athletes as well. Play your sports. Be as good as you are. Make this a game where people can enjoy themselves. Not about money, but about the game. Whether it's basketball or baseball or golf or tennis, whatever it is. Whether it's singing or dancing or playing instruments, painting, whatever it is a gift, a talent to share with the human race. Not about money. It is about computers and building planes and jets and spaceships. It's about creating that which brings life to the human species. Not about money. And you don't have to lie. You don't have to cheat. You don't have to steal. There is no poverty. Your cities can be beautiful. All of the houses can be as you want them to be. As beautiful as you can imagine. No, all ladies and gentlemen, you know what I'm talking about. As in heaven, so on earth. As simple as 1, 2, 3. And it's not a secret agenda. It's a public agenda. And everybody is playing a part in it. I'm calling on all the churches today. I'm calling on people who go to church. I'm calling on you to reassess what's going on. I want you to engage yourself in a mighty, mighty way. I want you to think about being more representative of that spirit of love that you go to church and say you're giving praises to. I want you to not only sing songs in churches and dance and testify, but I want you to come out and get engaging and do something. And when you come back, have something to testify about. Tell the world how God has blessed you to do this and to do that and to do this and how to do that and how it's working for the human species. Engage yourself about love and not just singing a song and paying tithes and offering. God is not about tithes and no money. God is not about offering and no money. God is not about building big churches and buying planes for people to travel all over the country so they can build mansions for themselves while people are still suffering. I ask you, my friends, I'm asking you, my brothers and my sisters, to engage yourselves with this new mission that God is calling on all of us, whoever we are, whether we are Muslims, whether we're Christians, whether we're Catholics, or whether we're whatever you want to call yourself. If it has something to do with God's love, then manifest yourself together and do the work of God so it can be the evidence, excuse me, it can be the evidence that God is alive and well in you. And those people who have been suffering and dying, and folks that blame God because the rescue wasn't there. They are basically saying that we the people failed to be there. That's what actually happened. So we got to cancel that out and make sure that we are there. We got to make sure that the suffering that we can control is ended. And if somebody got to be whipped with a big stick, let God do it. Not you, not anybody. You just be loving and resist and don't take no stuff. And if anybody need a butt kicking, let God do it. I can tell you, God has the power to kick any butt, and you can't do anything about it but roll down the hill when God kick your butt. I want to thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen, for giving me this your time. I really do want to thank you so very much for giving me this your time. It has been a wonderful morning, and I want you not to forget that this is changing from basic human rights to as in heaven, so on earth. And ladies and gentlemen, let me give you some closure here. The thing that I'm sharing with you about is more than just a dream, an ambition. It's actually putting my hands to the plow and asking you to do the same. But this world is huge. It's very big. And even after we have engaged ourselves as much as we possibly can, there will still be those out there that believes in selfishness, that will still try to divide us, that will still be willing to exploit, will be willing to lie, to cheat and steal and kill to have its way. It will not be going anywhere. The only thing that can defeat it is you, the people. When you stand up and resist it, when you stand up and resist it, it will morph itself down, small, 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 and then it will still be there. But when the time is right, and I don't know when that time is, nor do you, God has the ability to put out that light. And yet and still that light might remain forever as a test to you and I, if we are truly real. And if we are, we will experience on this earth heavenliness. And if we are fake, we will be deceived. We will become a part of division, lying and cheating and poverty and crime and violence and racism and bigotry and hatred and malice and terror and war. Wow, that devil got a lot of little areas, huh? I mean, it really does, doesn't it? And it's big, and we can see it. It can't hide. But you know what? It's there for us to know what we got to do. So let's take care of God's business for the benefit of us all. Bye-bye.